Welcome to the 2019 edition of Playoffs with Pat. We're here today to talk about primarily Las Vegas, but we're also going to do sort of an overview of the playoff format, what we can look forward to, what we're going to be excited about, and what we should be looking at as we march towards Homestead Miami Speedway at the end of the season. So the first thing everyone's looking at right now, of course, are the standings. Where do the drivers stand, the 16 drivers that are in the playoffs? Who has the best chance of getting to Miami? Well, the top 8 are fairly tightly clustered within about 30 points of each other. Kyle Busch is in a great position with 45 playoff points. He had 10 stage wins this year. He's really well positioned to be able to carry through the playoffs if he has a reasonable degree of success. The bottom 8 drivers, starting with Alex Bowman going all the way down to Ryan Newman, are separated by just 5 points. Those drivers are going to be on the bubble the entire playoffs. They have to be able to win to advance for the most part. And when I say advance, I mean advance to Homestead Miami, because they are not going to be able to just, sort of race their way in with good finishes, consistent finishes. They're not going to have the points that are necessary to do that. And so when we look at the playoff structure, again, those top 8 drivers that have had the stage wins and the race wins are in really good shape, certainly to move on from the first round of the playoffs, but also probably to the second round. It's when you get past that and when the cutoff occurs at Phoenix at ISM Raceway later this year, when that occurs, that's when those playoff points are really going to make a difference. And drivers, whoever's in that top 8 at that point, the only way you're going to guarantee a trip to Homestead Miami is to win. So now let's look at the schedule. Let's look at what we're going to have for the next several weeks in the playoffs. And as you can see, the whiteboard has returned, and it's also very obvious from this that the focus of the playoffs, 10 races, all great tracks, but the focus is Kansas Speedway. That's really the race that everyone cares about. They can talk about, it's a big weekend this weekend in Las Vegas because the cars are actually on track there. People talk about Homestead Miami. It's where the championship trophy is actually awarded. But everybody really focuses on Kansas, and it's really, the whole playoff structure is designed to center around Kansas Speedway. And if you can't tell I'm being a little sarcastic, sorry. But we start this weekend in Las Vegas. We go to Richmond, which is in its second year of being in the playoffs. The Charlotte Roval, even though Charlotte's been in the playoffs every year, the Roval is also just in its second year. It's an elimination race. At that race, we go from 16 to 12 drivers. Only 12 advance to Dover. Then you've got Talladega, always a wild card, and of course, Kansas, the focus of the playoffs. We're a cutoff race. We go from 12 to 8. Then you go to Martinsville, Texas, and then ISM. ISM cuts from 8 to 4. The final 4 go to Homestead Miami. The championship is awarded there. And so this is what we're looking at for the season. Not a lot of changes in the playoff structure this year. We had more last year. But again, the Roval, this is just the second time that it's been run ever. And so it's going to be a wild card race. Talladega, always a wild card race. Any of the cutoff races, the elimination races, are wild because somebody's trying to get in, somebody's on the bubble, they're willing to do crazy things to try to get into the playoffs, to advance to that next round. And so you're going to see exciting racing all 10 weeks of these playoffs. So now let's look ahead at Las Vegas. The race winners, people that have won past races at Las Vegas who are also in the playoffs, Brad Keselowski leads the field. He's got 3 race wins, his most recent in 2018. He was the runner-up, second place to his teammate Joey Logano in 2019. Brad is somebody who can do well at Las Vegas. I just mentioned Joey. He's only won there once, but he also has the highest average finish. So Joey has the highest average finish in the playoff field at 8.5. Look for these 2 drivers to do very, very well this weekend. I'd be surprised if they don't. Then you've got Kevin Harvick, 2 wins, most recently in 2018, 4th in 2019. Kyle Busch, 1 win back in 2009, so 10 years ago, but he was 3rd at the race earlier this year. So again, you can expect Kyle to do well. He's going to be racing in his hometown. I should also mention Kurt Busch was 5th in 2019. Also, another guy racing in his hometown. I would expect both of these drivers to be doing very well. Finally, Martin Truex Jr., just 1 win in 2017, but Martin and the Gibbs drivers are doing very, very well. No one should underestimate the quality of Gibbs and what Gibbs is doing right now and what their ability is going to be in the playoffs. So, as we look forward this weekend, 6 o'clock Central Time, Sunday night, NBCSN. Now, I know everybody's really waiting 37 days until the Kansas race, but I encourage you to tune in and watch this race because everything that happens between now and our race sort of sets up the playing field for our event. They set the field, why it's exciting to watch at Kansas. And again, with the focal point of the playoffs, even though we're not the championship, being Kansas, you want to pay attention to every race. Watch 6 o'clock on Sunday night, NBCSN.